steady car and always follows through. That he calls you in the morning just to hear your voice. That loving you all out for him is not a choice, it's just who he is. And I sat with that a minute, maybe longer than I should. Turned it over in my hands like maybe I misunderstood. But the longer that I held it, the more that I could see that everything you needed, girl, was never gonna come from me. I was good at grand gestures, bad at showing up, good at saying I love you, bad at filling up your cup, good at all the easy parts, the worst at all the rest. And you deserve somebody who could handle being blessed. So I hope he's nothing like me. I hope he stays when things get hard. I hope he reads the room right. I hope he guards your heart. I hope he's steady, slow and certain. I hope he earns your trust. I hope he's nothing like me is enough. I hope you found someone like him, someone who shows up and means it, someone who holds you through the dim, not someone who just gets near it. I could have been that, I don't know. Maybe I never had it in me, but I hope you found someone like him, someone unlike me, someone who loves you completely. I used to tell myself I just needed more time, that I'd figure out the loving part and find the line. But time kept moving forward and I kept standing still, watching you reach toward me from a window on a hill. You never asked for perfect, never asked me to be more than the man who showed up present when you walked in through the door. But present was the hardest thing I never learned to give, and you spent too many evenings teaching me how to live. I remember how you linger at the edge of every fight, hoping I'd just reach across and pull you back to right. And I fold my arms and turn away and call it being strong. Girl, that wasn't strength, I was just scared and I was wrong. So I hope he sees you clearly, I hope he doesn't waste the view. I hope he knows the quiet ways that you say I love you. I hope he catches every signal, every look, every pause. I hope he's nothing like me, 'cause I missed you through it all. I hope you found someone like him, someone who shows up and means it, someone who holds you through the dim, not someone who just gets near it. I could have been that, I don't know. Maybe I never had it in me, but I hope you found someone like him, someone unlike me, someone who loves you completely. And I know what you're thinking if you ever heard this song. You say I always had the words but never held on long. And you'll be right, you'll be completely right. I was better at the poetry than being there at night. So take this as the one thing I can give you that is true. I am genuinely rooting for whatever's good for you. Not because it makes me noble, not because I'm over it, but because you love me fully and I owe you at least this. I hope you found someone like him, someone who shows up and means it, someone who holds you through the dim, not someone who just gets near. I know I wasn't there for you, Lord knows I tried and fell short every time, but I hope you found someone like him, someone who stays, someone who prays, someone who carries you through the rain, someone who knows your middle name and loves the way you cry at films, girl. I hope you found someone like him, someone steady, someone sure, someone who gives you what I couldn't give before. Go be happy, you earned it. Stay just a little longer. The bedroom lamp is flickering low. You're folding up your clothes so slow, like you already know tonight's the last. I watch you from the doorway, don't say a word. A afraid that if I speak it out loud, it breaks the spell we've been living under. Your perfume on my pillow still smells like something I'm about to lose. I memorize the curve of your shoulder, the way you breathe and you think no one's watching you. I pulled you from the wreckage of your whole life. You said I was the only thing that felt right, but right don't mean forever, and I think we both know that tonight. Don't turn the lights off yet. Let me memorize your face before you walk away and erase every trace. I'm not asking you to stay, I already know you're gone. Just let me have this last one before the cold moves on. Before the cold moves on. You're standing at the mirror now, putting on the earrings that I gave you. I wonder if you'll wear them after this, or leave them on the dresser like a clue. I handed you the world inside my chest. You held it for a while, then set it down so gently, like you knew how fragile I'd become, like you knew this ending all along. Honestly, I told myself I didn't mind the sacrifice, that loving you was worth the sleepless nights. But now I'm standing here empty, watching you choose a different life. Don't turn the lights off yet. Let me memorize your face before you walk away and erase every trace. I'm not asking you to stay, I already know you're gone. Just let me have this last one before the cold moves on. Before the cold moves on. You were never mine to keep, I think I always knew, but I gave you everything, everything, everything I had to give to you. Maybe someday down the road you'll remember how I held you in the dark when you were breaking down. I was the one who never let you fall, never let you fall, never let you fall. Don't turn the lights off yet. Just let me see your face one last time in this soft light before you leave this place. I'm not begging you to stay, I just need a moment more. One last one before the winter, before you close that door, before you close that door. Just one more moment, baby, just the last one. There was never any broken glass, never anything the neighbors heard through walls. No sirens pulling up the drive, no bruise that anybody saw at all. But I know what I did to you, in a quiet space that no one sees, in the way I use my silence like a weapon, and my words like a disease. I go cold for days without a reason, let you wonder what you did wrong, make you apologize for things that weren't your fault, then act like nothing was wrong all along. That kind of damage doesn't show up in the light, it only surfaces at 3 AM alone at night. When you're reaching for someone who should be there, and you find an empty space I left right there. No one's gonna see it in a photograph, no one's gonna notice when you smile and laugh, but you feel it in the flames before you feel it every time you think you're too much, too weak. That wasn't you, that was me. That was every wall I built that you walked in a blind. That was me. Invisible scar, you every thought just tumbling out like music. Then I look at you a certain way, and you stop missing and start to lose it. You learn to edit yourself around me, learn to read the temperature of rooms, learn to make yourself smaller, quieter, just to give my ego space to bloom. And I told myself that I was complicated, that you just didn't erase. But complicated is just another word for a man who makes you pay for all his pain. I watched you second guess the things you knew. I watched your confidence just disappear from you, and I stood right there and let it happen slow. Convinced myself it wasn't me, but I know that no one's gonna see it in a photograph. No one's gonna notice when you laugh, but you feel it when you're starting something new. And that voice inside your head, that's me, not you. That was mine. Every doubt I ever planted, growing over time. That was mine. Invisible scars you can't show nobody. Invisible scar lives deep in your body. I didn't use my hands, but I used everything else. Invisible scar that I put there myself. No blood on the floor, no mark on your skin, but the wound that I gave you still lives deep within. I'm the reason you hesitate, the reason you guard your heart. Girl, I left you with an invisible scar. I wanna say I didn't know, but that would be a lie. I saw you pulling back from people, I just didn't ask you why. I wanna say it wasn't intentional, that I never meant to harm, but intention doesn't close the wound and quiet the alarm. The truth is I was hurting, and I needed someone for it to land. And you were soft enough to absorb it, and strong enough to still reach for my hand. That's the part that breaks me most. Enough to stay through all of it, but that you stayed because you love it while I was giving you the worst of it. So if you're in a new place now, learning how to trust again, I hope you know the voice that doubts you was never yours, it was him. It was me, it was always me. Invisible scars you can't show nobody. Invisible scar lives deep in your body. I didn't use my hands, but I used everything else. Invisible scar that I put there myself. No blood on the floor, no mark on your skin, but the wound that I gave you still lives deep within. I'm the reason you hesitate, the reason you guard your heart. Girl, I left you with an invisible scar. And I'm sorry, God, I'm sorry for every scar you carry that nobody else can see. Every scar you carry came from me. You deserve better. You always did. I just couldn't be it. City lights, everything glows, but nothing's alive. Yeah. I used to chase the night like it owed me something. Neon signs and empty streets and nobody coming. Put on my best face, walk through every door, laughing the loudest, but I couldn't tell you what for. The crowd moved around me like water around stone. You can be surrounded and still be alone. I played my part so well, I forgot the line. Glowing on the outside, fading inside. Then you walked in like color into a black and white room. I thought you were the answer, I thought you were the proof that something real could grow in all this artificial light. But neon isn't sunlight, and midnight isn't night. I'm neon. I glow, but I'm empty inside. You fill me with surface but never quite reach my heart. Neon hollow, hollow. Neon hollow. We danced on rooftops, we laughed at the dawn, taking pictures of moments before they're gone. You said you seemed so alive, so free, so bright. I smiled and said nothing. Some truths don't survive the light. I wanted to tell you what hides behind the shine, that every room I light up slowly drains me dry, that I've been running this performance for so long. I don't know where the hollow ends and I begin to belong. But you looked at me different, like you could see the dark, like you weren't afraid of the empty in my heart. So I let you a little closer than I've let anyone before. And for a second I forgot what I was hollow for. Neon hollow, I glow, but I'm empty inside. You fill me with color, but color eventually dies. I'm neon hollow, burning so bright in the dark. You light up the surface but never quite reach my heart. Neon hollow, neon hollow. Ooh, what if I turn off every light, took down every sign? Would you still stand here beside me in the quiet and the blind? What if the glow was never real? What if I'm just glass? Would you love the dark inside me or let this moment pass? I'm tired of performing, I'm tired of the show. I wanna be the kind of real that only you would know. I wanna stop glowing just long enough to feel something that isn't hollow, something that is real. Last night I sat alone in a room full of sound, watched everybody reaching but nobody found. Then I thought of the way you said my name, like you meant it, like you really meant it. On hollow I go, golden I'm thinking inside, but you fill me with color, color as in doubt. Still neon hollow, still burning out here in the dark, but you're the first lighter that reached into my heart. Neon hollow, not so hollow anymore. Neon hollow, not so hollow anymore. City lights, but you fell where you fell. And all this neon, you fell where you. It's all I ever was. You pulled into my life on a cold November evening, running low on everything, your tank was nearly gone. Said you just needed someone warm to catch your breath a minute. Didn't mention you were already planning to move on. I cleared the drive, we made the space, I lit the porch light for you. Learned the way you liked your morning slow and quiet and warm. I thought you were unpacking when you were only resting. Never saw the roadmap, you were hiding from me all along. I watched you charge back up on everything I offered. Watch the color come back slowly to your face. And every day you stayed, I let myself believe it, that maybe you had chosen me, that maybe this was more than just a resting place. But you had somewhere else in mind before you were pulled up to my door. I was fuel for someone else's journey, and I didn't even know what I was for. I destination. You filled up all my love and left without hesitation. Took everything I had to give, I want the time and miles. I was good enough to rest in, but never worth the while. Never worth staying for, never worth the long ride. Was your pit stop, baby, just a stop along the road. Just a stop along the road. I remember when you got that call on a Sunday morning. You walked out to the backyard so I couldn't hear, but the way you came back in, something in your posture changed. Like a door had opened somewhere and the exit sign was clear. You were softer after that in a way that should've scared me. Like someone being gentle cause they know what's coming next. Like the way a summer evening cools before the storm rolls in. The kindness right before the goodbye is the hardest to forget. You started saying things like, you're the best thing that happened to me. Said it looking just a little to the left of my eyes, and I held those words so close like they were promises. Didn't realize they were just a thank you in disguise. Just a thank you in disguise. You were always moving forward, I was standing still believing I was the place you were heading, not the place you were leaving. I was your pit stop, not your destination. You filled up all my love and have left without hesitation. Took everything I had to give, the warmth, the time, and miles. I was good enough to rest in, but never worth the while. Never worth staying for, never worth the long road. I was your pit stop, baby, just a stop along the road. Just a stop along the road. There's a certain kind of grief that don't come with a reason, cause you never made me a promise that I could hold you to. You never said forever, never said that I was home. You were honest in your silence, I just heard what I wanted to. And the worst part of this whole thing isn't even that you left, it's that you left with everything I gave you. And I'd probably do it all again, I'd probably fill you up again, watch you drive away again. Because loving you, even temporarily, felt better than an empty driveway, felt better than the quiet, felt better than nothing at all. I think about the morning that you drove away, the way you hugged me at the door, long enough to feel like it meant something, not long enough to make me ask for more. You said you'll keep in touch, we both knew that was kinda stalking. Some people come into your life to show you what love feels like, not to stay. And maybe that's enough, maybe that's supposed to be enough. But God, it's lonely, standing in the driveway, watching taillights disappear. I was your pit stop and I think I always knew I was the one you needed, on your way to someone new. I gave you all I had to give, no regrets about the miles. I was honored just to hold you, even if it was just for a while. Even if it was just for a while. Even if I was just a stop along the road. Yeah, I hope you made it, baby. Down the road, 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 I'll be here. I don't play the songs we loved out of sadness anymore. I play them like you'd light a candle in an empty room, not to bring back what was there before, but to sit a while inside the warmth we knew. I drove past the diner on Fifth last spring, the one because it fades. I'm not standing in the ruins, I'm standing in the light. That's love, but life from something real that burned exactly right. Not every love is meant to last forever. Some are just meant to teach you how to feel. And what we had was one of those, and I'm grateful that it was real. The afterglow of us still warms me on a cold night. The afterglow of us still shows up in the half-light. I don't need you here beside me to feel where we were. The afterglow of us outlasted the blur. Not everything that ends wrong. Some things burn so true, they leave a light that carries on. And then I carry yours with me. In the afterglow of us and everything I'll ever be. I found a photo in a jacket from that year, the one we took outside the market in the rain. Your mid-laugh, I'm looking over at you like I already knew. I wanna see that face again. I kept it, not to mourn, not to hold on, just to have one honest record of a time when two imperfect people gave each other something that neither one could manufacture or design. You taught me how to be present in a moment, how to taste the food and not just eat, how to sit inside a conversation fully, not already planning my retreat. I was better in the months I spent beside you, slower, softer, more inclined to stay. And even though the staying wasn't in us, you left something in me that didn't go away. I'm not grieving what we lost, now I'm honoring what we found. Two people who were honest with each other on the way down. Not every love needs saving, some just need to be felt all the way through. And I felt every second of loving you. The afterglow of us still warms me on the cold night. The afterglow of us still warms up in the half-light. I don't need you here beside me to feel where we were. The afterglow of us outlasted the blur. Not everything that ends wrong. Some things burn so true, they leave a light that carries on. And I carry yours with me. In the afterglow of us and everything I'll ever be. Maybe love isn't always about the ones who stay. Maybe some loves are seasons that were never meant to stay past May. And May was beautiful, Lord, May was something else. Wildflowers on the hillside, both of us forgetting ourselves. I've been in rooms since you that felt like winter in disguise, and I knew the difference because I stood in your sunrise. So I don't call it losing, I don't call it loss at all. I call it being lucky enough to have caught something real before the fall. To have known what it feels like when two people tell the truth. To have loved without a safety net. Girl, I learned that one from you. The afterglow of us still warms me on the cold night. The afterglow of us still shows up in the half-light. I don't need you here beside me to feel what we were. The afterglow of us outlasted the blur. Not everything that ends wrong. Some things burn so true, they leave a light that carries on. And I carry yours with me. In every room I walk into, in every honest thing I do, and every time I let someone a little closer to the truth. In the afterglow of us, I became someone new. The afterglow of us was the best of me and you. Thank you for the light. I'm still standing in tasted you, I just didn't care. First time I saw you standing across the room, something in my chest said I'd be ruined soon. You moved like a warning I wasn't ready to read. Smile like a secret that I was already gone. I told myself just once, just this one time, one taste of you and I was already fine. You didn't have to try, you didn't have to stay, but you left enough of yourself to pull me back anyway. And everybody around me says she's not what she seems, but warnings sound like nothing when you're caught up in the dream. I heard them, I just chose to believe what I felt, and what I felt was everything I never let myself. You're my sweet poison, I'll taste you and forget the pain. Sweet poison, I know I'll never be the same. You go down easy, like something I was born to need. Sweet poison, you're the most beautiful disease. Sweet poison, sweet poison. Weeks in and I'm rearranging my whole life, moving things around just to make more room for mine. Canceled all my people, let the good habits go. Told myself it's worth it cause you said you wouldn't go, but you come and go like weather, like a tide, like a drug. Here enough to keep me and too gone to feel the love. I started checking my phone like it told me the truth. Started losing sleep over every version of you, and I know what this is. I've read this story before, the part where I keep going back when I should've closed the door. But knowing isn't leaving, and leaving isn't done, when every time I try to walk you give me just enough to stay. You're my sweet poison, I taste you and forget the pain. Sweet poison, I know I'll never be the same. You go down easy, like something I was born to need. Sweet poison, you're the most beautiful disease. Sweet poison. What if I walked away right now? Would I even recognize myself? Have I been so deep inside this? I forgot about my health. I remember who I was before. I was someone who knew better. I was someone with a plan, but you wrote me letter by letter. Now I'm standing at the mirror trying hard to find my face. All I see is everything that you carefully erased. And God help me, I still want another taste. Last night I dreamed of who I was at 22, before I ever knew a thing about a love like you. Woke up reaching for my phone, ready looking for a sign, proof that something in this poison still belongs to me. And you're my sweet poison, I taste you and forget the pain. Sweet poison, sweet poison, I know I'll never be the same. You go down easy, like something I was born to bleed. Sweet poison, you're the most beautiful disease. I know what you are, I know what this costs. I know I'm better without you, but I'm already lost. Sweet poison, sweet poison, sweet poison, sweet poison. I know what you were the moment I tasted you. I just didn't care. I still don't care. I've said sorry so many times. The words gone thin like paper on through. I hand it over like it means something, and you take it like you always do. Not because you believe it anymore. You stop believing it around month 9, but you take it cause the alternative is admitting that we're out of time. And now watch you hold it up against the line. The way you check a bill that might be fake, turning it until find the flaw you knew was there to take. It's beautiful, my apology, all polished up and easy on the eye. But we both know what happens when you drop it. Glass looks whole right up until it flies. You swept the floor so many times from the last one that I gave. You know the way the pieces scatter. You know which corners need to save, and still you reach out for the next one. Still you cup it in your hands. We're both too deep inside this pattern to do the thing we understand. Glass apology, pretty but it breaks. Glass apology, same promise, same mistake. I hold it out, you take it in. We both know how this ends. Glass apology, shatters every time. Glass apology, yours and mine. We keep picking up the pieces just to break them again. Glass apology, between two people who don't know how to end. There's a drawer beside the kitchen sink where you keep the things you can't throw out. Matchbooks from the places that we loved before the love turned inside out. I found it once when you were home. Didn't touch a thing but looked too long. Ticket stubs and Polaroids and one folded note I wrote when things went wrong. It was the first time I said sorry back when sorry still had waited back before I wore it down to nothing. Back before you learned to hesitate, and I stood there holding that old note, reading words I meant back then, wondering at what point did I stop meaning them, or did I always say them just to win? You read that note 100 times on the nights when you're not sure whether what we have is worth the breaking, and you're just too tired to close the door. And I keep saying all the right things in the wrong and hollow way. We're fluent in the language of apology, but neither one of us can stay. Glass apology, pretty but it breaks. Glass apology, same promise, same mistake. I hold it out, you take it in. We both know how this ends. Glass apology, shatters every time. Glass apology, yours and mine. We keep picking up the pieces just to break them again. Glass apology, between two people who don't know how to end. What if I stop saying sorry and just stop doing the thing? Would that be love, or would the silence just become another rainbow around the tree of all our damage? Another year we can't undo. I've apologized for who I am so long. I don't know who that is without you. And maybe that's a real confession, not the sorry or the shame, but that I need the cycle turning just to feel like I'm not the same. So I break it in, I fix it in, and I break it once again. Not because I wanna hurt you, but because I don't know how to end. And neither do you, and neither do you. That's the part we never it to you. Class apology, pretty but it breaks. Class apology, same promise, same mistake. I hold it out, you take it in. We both know how this ends. Class apology, shatters every time. Class apology, yours and mine. We keep picking up the pieces just to break them again. But what if we stop? What if we just stop? Let the last piece fall and didn't pick it up. Class apology, one last time, let it shatter on the floor and finally leave it behind. Leave it behind, leave it behind, leave it all behind. One more sorry, one more sorry. Is that all we know? What if we just stop? I thought cold was just weather. Turns out cold is a person. Turns out cold is a feeling you leave behind. You came in like December through an open door. Didn't take your coat off, didn't stay, just left the floor. Cold with every footprint, every place you've been. I told myself it's just your nature, let the warmth begin. I made you coffee, made you space, made you room. Moved the furniture around just to give you somewhere new. You sat inside my life like you were testing for the cold, checking every corner for a crack before you go. And I kept turning up the heat, thinking I could change the season. Kept telling myself to wake and making up the reasons why someone that cold could still be worth the frost. Why I kept on reaching out for something I already lost. Frostbite, your love leaves me cold. Frostbite, I'm numb but I can't let go. I keep reaching for your warmth in the middle of the freeze. Frostbite, you're the coldest thing I've ever needed. Frostbite, frostbite, frostbite. You had a way of making silence feel like blame. Every room we shared together never felt the same. You disappear for days and reappear like snow. Pretty from a distance but too cold to hold. I started wearing layers just to get through nights. Started sleeping on the edge to avoid the ice. I told myself this coldness came from somewhere deep, that underneath the frost was someone fighting sleep. But frozen isn't broken, and broken can be fixed. And I kept confusing your coldness for the risk we're taking. We're staying, we're bleeding out for. Kept standing in the cold like warmth was what the cold was for. Your love leaves me cold. Frostbite, I'm numb but I can't let go. I keep reaching for your warmth in the middle of the freeze. Frostbite, you're the coldest thing I've ever needed. Frostbite, frostbite, frostbite. There's a kind of cold that gets into your bones that no amount of fire ever really owns. There's a kind of numb that feels like being safe, like if you can't feel anything, nothing goes to waste. I think I let you frost me over on purpose. Built myself a reason to stop feeling all this. If I'm numb enough, I don't have to decide if what we have is love or just somewhere cold to hide. But I'm tired of the cold now. I'm tired of the freeze. I'm tired of pretending that the numb is what I need. I wanna feel the burning, I wanna feel the sting. I wanna feel something real, even if it breaks everything. Last winter I left the window open all night. Woke up to the cold and for once it didn't feel right. Something in my chest said you were warm once before. I got up and walked outside and I closed that door. No more frostbite, I've been cold for too long. No more frostbite. frostbite. I'm done pretending I'm strong in the freeze and the numb in the ice you left behind. Frostbite. You took enough of me, now I'm taking back. Frostbite. No more frostbite. I'm done. I'm done. The cold doesn't scare me anymore. It just reminds me of how good the warmth feels when it finally comes back. Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back. Come back. I have to say this. I saw the way you looked at me that first night, like I was something solid in a world that kept on shifting. And I knew right then I had the upper hand. I just didn't stop myself from using it. You were honest with your heart right from the beginning. Pour everything you felt out in the open where I saw it. And instead of meeting you with the same honesty, I measured what to give and what to keep and what to borrow. Told you what you needed to hear to stay. Not because it was true, but because it worked. And every time you doubted, I would pull you closer. Just enough to make the leaving feel worse. Just enough to make the leaving feel worse. And I told myself that I would come around, that I just needed time to feel what you were feeling. But time kept passing and the feeling never came. And you kept loving me and I kept dealing. I saw a good heart and I used it like a tool. Didn't deserve your love, I was the cruel one, not you. Every tender thing you gave me, I took more than my share. You were standing in your truth and I was never really there, never really there. I was the one who should've walked away the moment that I knew, but I stayed and let you love me. And that's on me, not you. That's on me, not you. I remember when you planned that birthday weekend. Spent 3 weeks putting every detail into place. Drove 4 hours just to bring me to the cabin. Stood there watching my reaction on your face. And I smiled the right smile, said the right things. Held you like I meant it underneath those mountain stars. But somewhere in the back of everything, I was thinking about how to keep you close without giving you my heart. You deserve someone who woke up every morning certain of the choice they made the night before. Not someone running calculations in the background, figuring out how much of themselves they could afford, how much of themselves they could afford. And the worst part of this confession isn't even what I did to you. It's knowing that you saw the signs along the way and love me anyway. Love me anyway. That kind of love I didn't earn from you. I saw a good heart and I used it like a tool. Didn't deserve your love, I was the cruel one, not you. Every tender thing you gave me, I took more than my share. You were standing in your truth and I was never really there, never really there. I was the one who should've walked away the moment that I knew, but I stayed and let you love me. And that's on me, you. That's on me, you. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out when exactly I became this person who could sit across from someone giving everything and feel so little in return. Was I always like this underneath it all? Or did I learn it somewhere slowly. Did someone do to me what I did to you? And I just passed it on without knowing. I'm not saying that to make excuses. There's no version of the story where I'm not at fault. I'm saying it because I need to understand how someone lets another person love them through it all. Love them through it all. And give back almost nothing at all. If you ever hear this, I want you to know I knew what you were doing every time you loved me. I knew you were the real thing, I just wasn't ready for it. Or maybe I was scared of it, or maybe I was broken in ways I hadn't figured out yet. But none of that changes what I cost you. None of that gives back the years or the energy or the trust you gave me. A front row seat to what real love looks like. And I sat there and I watched it and I wasted it. And I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. That's not enough. I saw a good heart and I treated it wrong. Took the warmth you offered and I held on way too long. Every time you tried to reach me, I was somewhere else inside. You were loving me completely and I was somewhere trying to hide, trying to hide. I was the one who should have let you go before you gave so much. I hope you find somebody who deserves you as much as you deserve to be loved, just as much as you love me, just as much as you love me. Better than what I gave you. I hope you know that now. I hope you always knew. I used to think I was the best thing in life, the one who made it brighter, made it right. I had this picture of us fixed inside my head, where I was everything you needed, what a lie instead. Then I started watching from a little further back, counting all the things I took and never gave you back. The sleep you lost, the friends you stopped returning calls, the way you shrank yourself to fit inside my walls. You started laughing differently around me, quieter, more careful, more contained. Like joy was something you require permission for, and somewhere down the line I was the one who trained that into you. And I hate that I see it now, hate that it took losing you to figure out that the best thing I could ever do for you was be the thing you finally lived without. And now you're out there and your colors coming back. All the things I dimmed in you are finding their way back. And I wanna be happy, and I mostly am, but God, it stings a little knowing I was the reason it went dark. You smile bigger now since the day I left. You laugh a little loud like you finally caught your breath. Your shoulders aren't up near your ears, your eyes don't search the room. You're better without me, and I always knew. Living like a window, someone finally opened wide. Better without me, and as much as that should hurt my pride, I think the truest thing I've ever said is the hardest thing to say out loud. You're better without me, and I'm glad I loved you enough to finally let that count. I remember the morning that you packed your things, how steady your hands were, how you didn't shake. I thought I'd see you fall apart at least a little bit, but you just folded everything with quiet grace. And I stood in the doorway trying to find the words, some last great speech to make you turn around. But you just looked at me with something like relief and carried every suitcase to the ground. That look right there, I've turned it over since 1,000 times in parking lots at night. It wasn't anger and it wasn't even sadness, it was someone stepping back into the light. And I realized standing in that doorway that I've been the cloud above you all along. Now I'm meaning to block out the sun entirely, but doing it so slowly that we both played along. And now you're out there with your voice turned up again, saying all the things you used to edit before the end. And I wanna call you, tell you that I see it, but some things you don't get to witness when you're the reason someone needed healing. You smile bigger now since the day I left. You laugh a little louder like you finally caught your breath. Your shoulders aren't up near your ears, your eyes don't search the room. You're better without me, and I always knew. Living like a window, someone finally opened wide. And as much as that should hurt my pride, I think the truest thing I've ever said is the hardest thing to say out loud. You're better without me, and I'm glad I loved you enough to finally let that count. This isn't me feeling sorry for myself. This isn't me pretending to be noble. This is just a man who watched the person he loved most finally come back home. And yeah, it cost me something just to say it. Yeah, it cuts in places I don't show, but the version of you thriving without me in it is better than the version I would know. So take the light back, take the laughing back, take every piece of you I made you pack away and hide and swallow and compress. Take it back and let it out, let it out, let it out. You always wore it best. You smile bigger now since the day I left. You laugh a little louder like you finally caught your breath. Your shoulders aren't up near your ears, your eyes don't search the room. You're better without me, and I always knew. Living like a window, someone finally opened wide. Better without me, and as much as that should hurt my pride, I think the truest thing I've ever said is the hardest thing to say out loud. You're better without me, yeah, you're better, so much better. And I'm learning that's enough. You're better without me, and loving you means letting that be love. Better, you're so much better. Go be better. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. I heard through someone that you're seeing someone new, that he drives a steady car and always follows through, that he calls you in the morning just to hear your voice, that loving you all out for him is not a choice, it's just who he is. And I sat with that a minute, maybe longer than I should. Turned it over in my hands like maybe I misunderstood, but the longer that I held it, the more that I could see that everything you needed, girl, was never gonna come from me. I was good at grand gestures, bad at showing up, good at saying I love you, bad at filling up your cup, good at all the easy parts, the worst at all the rest. And you deserve somebody who could handle being blessed. So I hope he's nothing like certain. I hope he earns your trust. I hope he's nothing like me is enough. I hope you found someone like him, someone who shows up and means it, someone who holds you through the dim, not someone who just gets here. I could have been that, I don't know. Maybe I never had it in me, but I hope you found someone like him, someone like me, someone who loves you completely. I used to tell myself I just needed more time, that I'd figure out the loving part and find the line. But time kept moving forward